Hi, everybody. It's Terry here, and I've got a great story about a veteran that we sent a metal detector out to from metaldetectorsforveterans.org. And Lewis has given us permission to tell this story. It begins in 1929, 11 years after World War I. That year, Congress authorized government-funded pilgrimages for mothers and widows of American soldiers that were killed in World War I. Leaving from New York, they sailed to France and visited the American military cemeteries in Europe. In 1930, a grieving mother boarded a train in Utah bound for New York. She left New York Harbor a week later aboard a United States Lines cruise ship. After a couple of days at sea, all the mothers and widows were invited to the foredeck of the ship for a formal ceremony, and each mother was individually honored with a serialized medallion made by Tiffany and Company. The bronze medallion has a raised gold-plated star and was numbered on the rim at the 6 o'clock position. The serial number matched a certificate that was commemorated and that was also presented to the mother that commemorated the event and obviously was precious to that mother. Our story now jumps ahead 94 years to present-day Vernal, Utah, where Lewis Haynes, a U.S. Army veteran who does suffer from anxiety related to service-connected PTSD, started metal detecting with the machine that we sent out to him from Metal Detectors for Veterans. Since getting the metal detector, Lewis has told me that he's found several silver coins from the early 1900s, but more importantly, he says metal detecting therapy is helping him with his anxiety, and to me, that's what it's all about. As Lewis was metal detecting around an old homestead, he was listening to the machine moving the coil across the ground slowly, and he found an actual piece of American history. The detector came alive, gave him a signal telling him that there was something down there. He dug through the soil, and at the bottom of the hole was a 1930 Gold Star Mothers and Widows Pilgrimage Medallion. Discovering the Gold Star Pilgrimage Medallion made by Tiffany and Company in 1930, Lewis told me he felt bound to do his best to return it to the family of the fallen soldier. He said, although these events took place well before my life began, he is my brother in arms, and I was honor-bound to try to return this to the family. The task of locating the family proved daunting for Lewis. He reached out to one of the metal detecting groups on Facebook, Utah Metal Detecting. A member there, Brandy Reynolds, was able to locate and share a link with him from Villanova College. It was a list of mothers and widows entitled to make the pilgrimage to the war cemeteries in Europe. Well, Lewis worked the information there and identified Rebecca Fanny Weech Burns, the mother of Private Hubert Hiram Burns from Randelette, Leota, Utah. Private Burns was killed at the Battle of Chateau Thierry in France in June of 1918. Private Burns was just 23 years old when he died. Lewis told me that when he read the soldier's obituary from over a century past, he realized he'd been sent on this mission by a higher power. You see, Hubert Burns spent his childhood in the mountains of northeastern Oregon in the same small mountain valley that Lewis was born in 1966. He told me he was raised just 13 miles from where Private Burns spent most of his childhood. Huge coincidence? Hold on a minute, it gets better. At 23, Private Burns was an Army scout fighting in a foreign nation far from home. At the age of 23, Lewis Haynes was leading a scout platoon with K Troop 3rd Squadron, 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiment in Desert Storm. To add just a bit more to the mix, Private Burns' family migrated from Oregon to Utah to engage in mining, as did Lewis's family, right about the same time. Private Burns' mother, Rebecca, attended the Gold Star pilgrimage to visit his final resting place and received the medallion with the serial number 2923. Lewis was able to return the medallion to the grandson and granddaughter of Rebecca Fanny Burns. Earl, who is 88, and his sister Ellen Burns Galley, who is 90 years old. Lewis talked to the family about the parallels of their family histories, and the Burns family repeated to him again and again that he was meant to find and return this medallion to them, that it truly was a mission sent from their relatives from above. Lewis said to me, and I'm quoting here, "I can say to Mrs. Rebecca Fanny Burns and her son, Private Hubert Hiram Burns, the mission has been completed. May your family and all who have read this story always remember your strength and courage, determination, sacrifice, and the power of a mother's love." Well, folks, that's the story. And I am so happy for both the Burns family and for Lewis Haynes. And I am so happy that MetalDetectorsForVeterans.org was able to reach out to this man, to this brave veteran, and help him hopefully break the cycle of PTSD. God bless you all. Thank you for listening, and God bless the United States of America.